Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to another episode of the Business of Inner Peace. Today, I am honored to have my first time ever, second time guest. Her name is Kasia Dodd, and she is a European licensed psychologist, therapist, and an author known for developing the inner parent theory. It's a powerful missing piece in the framework surrounding the inner child, which she delves into in her book, You Are the Dream of the Universe. She pioneered emotional freedom techniques, which I love, over in Poland, and she created the inherence process, which is a method for restoring connection with the deep self. She was born and raised in Poland, and she spent 22 years in the United States before relocating to the Indian Ocean coast of Africa. Her newest book, The Chameleon's Game, explores the psychological traps of covert narcissism, and it shows the way back to self-trust and personal clarity. So grab your favorite beverage and come join us for a great conversation. Welcome to the Business of Inner Peace. I'm your host, Erin Jean, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's pretend we're sitting in my living room enjoying a cup of coffee or tea and getting to know each other just a little better. That's what I love. I love getting to hear your story. I love feeling connected by the spirit of understanding that our stories bring. Today, I'm sharing some of my story, but I hope someday soon you'll be telling me yours. Listen, I know that you're feeling overwhelmed with life and nothing is exactly how you'd like it to be. Your marriage is not what you hoped for. Motherhood is harder than you imagined, and you've lost yourself somewhere in the mix of responsibilities. Well, if you're ready to bring some more peace and joy into your life, reconnect with God who made you, and start living a life you love, then grab your cup of coffee or tea, and let's dive into today's show. Hi, Kasia. Welcome to the episode. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you, Erin, for inviting me again. And I'm so happy to be here again. And I'm honored to be the first one that is the second time.
I know that's quite a mouthful,
Yes.
but you know what I mean. It's fun
Yes.
to have someone come back and just fun to hear that you had more things happening in your world that you wanted to share. So as you know, I love hearing stories, and I think it would be powerful for our guests to hear what prompted you to write this second book.
Yes. So the whole book is based and around my 12 years of relationship with my right now ex-partner. And it turned out he was a covert narcissist, which I didn't know at the beginning. And it's funny because somebody may think, oh, she's a psychologist, she's a therapist, and so how come she didn't notice symptoms and went for so long, like over 10 years in this relationship? So it's there are a few things here. First of all, we are all here on this earth to have a one of a kind journey. And this journey, every journey on this earth is through different challenges and learning and developing and discovering and become more aware and playing with the reality. So nobody comes to this earth enlightened and knowing everything. So we learn as we go. And sometimes when we need to discover something deeper, but we don't know what and how, then something happens in the reality and it's difficult, it's challenging, it forces us to reflect or to go deep or to find out what it is and why. And that's how we learn. So no matter who you are, meaning what kind of degrees you have, you're a psychologist or PhD or whatever. I have another MA degree in theology, and it didn't save me from not knowing certain things about myself. So um, so yes, at the beginning of the relationship, it was perfect. For 1 year was like paradise almost. So I loved every day of it. And then we moved to a remote location and suddenly everything flipped like 180 degrees. So then, you stay in this state of confusion. Okay, what's going on? Because it doesn't match. Whatever you experienced for the last year, for the first year, for example, for me, suddenly it's not there anymore, and it's some kind of different script happening. So we try to figure it out what is going on. Maybe something happened, maybe, and you have all those justifications and explanations. Oh, he's tired, or maybe he's just having a bad day, or maybe he needs some help, or maybe I could do something to make it better. And so then you're waiting for those good times to come back, and they never do. So after a year or two, after we moved to this remote location, I started noticing, and then I was using my knowledge that I had from the psychology school. Well, it looks like he has some serious personality disorder. At the beginning, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was borderline, because it's very similar. Borderline and narcissistic, they have very similar traits. And so I try to help, I try to explain, I try to talk to him, and nothing helped. And it was just drama, following drama and drama and drama. And after almost 12 years of this, finally it dissolved. But mm, um, my mind is really, really curious, since I can remember since I was born. My mind always wants to know and understand. So on one hand, I was in this relationship, observing, experiencing what's going on, and hoping that maybe I can do something, or something will be better, and will come back to the original first year. Uh, and on the other hand, I was observing, trying to figure out what actually is going on underneath of all of it. So I was experiencing and learning, experiencing and learning, and always asking my questions. Okay, this question. So if I don't know, if I really can't understand uh, why I am in this relationship, why I am in this relationship, what part of me still is allowing to continue this?
Yeah.
So on the go, I was discovering more and more about myself and what part of me chose this, because, we always choose it. Nobody forced me to go into this relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I finally discovered some really hidden parts of my own self, my own being. And once I discovered them and uncovered them and embraced them and integrated back to my whole system, the whole thing fell apart. So it was incredible journey, both very challenging and both very and also rewarding in terms of what I actually found out about myself and how much better I am after all of it. That I decided to write. First, I wanted to write few articles, but then there were so many articles in my head. Then I thought, well, it should be a book. So that's how it came uh, to life.
Yeah. Yeah, I find this topic of narcissism really interesting. And I think you do a good job in the beginning of your book of addressing how it's becoming overused and also giving examples of how that's happened with other terms, in our modern day language that
Hmm.
originally meant something
Yes,
and we use it
yes.
a different way today. And I agree with you. I think that that's something that's sort of happening with narcissism. Um, I highly recommend your book for somebody that thinks that maybe they're dealing with it. At one point in my own journey, a therapist had suggested that my husband potentially was a narcissist. And I found a quiz online that there was some things that matched, but a lot that didn't. So it kind of took me off the track. And I was thinking about with your book, you do this very helpful thing at the end of your chapters and sometimes mid-chapter of a reality check.
Hmm.
And it kind of gives the reader an opportunity to sort of see if you recognize any of
Hmm.
these things or not. Um, and I was wondering, do you think those reality checks could be put into like a quiz?
Yes, that's a good idea, actually. Yes.
I was like, I think
Hmm.
this would be a helpful
Mm.
quiz for people because this term is so overused. And um, also, what you're mentioning, how there's traits that are similar between borderline personality disorder
Hmm.
and narcissistic personality disorder. So there's just a
Hmm.
lot to like maybe weed through, would you say?
Hmm.
It's not just like a simple
Yeah.
evaluation.
No, it's a very complex, the actual narcissistic personality disorder that's defined in the diagnostics in psychology. It's a very serious and complex disorder. It's they say the psychologists, right? They say that it is so deep and so complex that it's incurable. You can only learn how to manage it, how to live with it, how to not be so destructive to people. But not many of narcissists, almost nobody wants to do the work. Um, and there's a big difference between the whole personality disorder and some single narcissistic behaviors, because all of those we do have and we do from time to time. Everybody. So everybody sometimes thinks only about themselves uh, because for example, you're sick or you have a really hard time in life and you think only about your own needs. And when you feel so bad, so sick, you have no energy and capacity, for example, to focus on somebody else and help him or her.
Mhm.
So you're not narcissist. You just have a time that you cannot be this empathetic, helpful person. Um, but with the personality disorder, it's like a constant trait. It never changes.
Mhm.
It never changes. 100% of time there's an obsession in this personality disorder about wanting people's attention all the time, no matter what they do, what they say, what they think, what they plan. It's always, 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 always about them. And when they do something for others, it's also about them. It's not just because they have a good heart and do it. There is always an agenda underneath to be admired or to get something back. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you say the exception to that is in your book, you break down these phases or stages, right,
Hmm.
of the relationship with a narcissist?
Yeah.
Would you say that that beginning stage, which I think you called like the love bomb,
Hmm.
would be the stage where it would be harder to detect the
Yes.
all about me piece?
Oh, yes. Yes, totally. Because it's like a bait. It's like they match you so perfectly. They know your desires. They they try to fit what you like. They resonate with you on all levels. So you think, oh my gosh, you just melt, and you say, oh my gosh, I met my soulmate. That's the first person who gets me so much and understands me and all of that. But it's all performance because they have this ability to be really like a chameleon, to really become you almost on the inside. So actually you look at your own reflection through their performance because they reflect you, who you are, and you really think you met your perfect match.
Mhm.
But yeah, they it's not real because it's not them. it's not real who they are. They just reflect you, who you are, so you can see the perfect match, which is you, right? And then when you finally are in, when you uh when you're in, basically, then the script flips. And then suddenly you become the enemy number one, and they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They get angry, they belittling you, they don't care if you feel good or bad. It's just all about them suddenly.
Yeah. For the benefit of our listeners, do you mind just going over what those stages are?
Yes, so the first one is the love bombing. It's when they are so helpful and resonating with you on all levels. So you think you found your twin flame or the soulmate or whatever it's called. And then when it ends, because you are in, they don't need to um, perform anymore. So they become who they really are. And it's this the second stage is called devaluation state. So they devalue who you are, and they start criticizing you or cutting you off or gaslighting, meaning they all the time undermine what you're saying, or you say, oh, you don't know what you're saying, oh, you don't know, oh, you don't know anything, something like that.
Mhm.
And so um basically they disconnect in a bad way, and they pull you down. um they try to make you feel small and um blame you for their unhappiness.
Mhm.
um so yeah, you're the abuser, you're the victim, and they're just poor victims. It's all, your fault then. It's that stage of devaluation. And then there's a discard stage when they suddenly disappear, because you're not the supply anymore. That's the characteristic term, supply. Every person in the narcissistic world is a supply, supplying something they need: attention, money, uh, help, support, whatever they need. So once when the supply dries, because you're so exhausted from it, you cannot give anymore, they just discard you. Yes, and then there's another stage. It happens a lot, not all the time, but a lot. It's a hoovering, meaning after a while, when their new supply is not performing well, they will come back to you. It could be next month, or it could be 2 years later. They come back to you. Oh, how are you? What's going on? Oh, maybe we should get together. And they try to pull you back again. So it's important to know the stages. And if somebody is a victim kind of a narcissistic relationship, to know not to never fall back into the trap, because they haven't changed. Nothing happened. They will say they are changed. They will play this role. Oh, I am a different person now. Oh, we can try again. Ha ha ha. But it's just the performance again and the new love bombing stage. So if somebody falls for it, they will go through the same cycle again and again and again and again until you step out of this cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, it's very painful.
Yeah.
Pretty similar to you in that I always have this curiosity around why people do what they do or why they end up with these different conditions. I was curious about that. Do you have any ideas around like why someone becomes narcissistic?
Well, I have my own observation of not only from this relationship, but from also being really interested in the reality and how it works and the human reality. So how I see it and understand it is that mm, usually there's a combination of that you are born this way, and then um, your family system um, kind of confirms it, affirms it, so it becomes even stronger. Because, I'm a therapist. I work with hundreds of thousands of people already, and many people who came to therapy, they had a very bad narcissistic parents, for example. So they were raised in a really, really tough environment, and they never became narcissists. So that means that there was something in them that was healthy from the start, from the beginning, from birth, and they didn't become narcissists just because their parents were narcissists. And there is the end of the spectrum. Somebody comes to this world and have most loving parents who are not narcissists, and the person is a psychopath or a narcissist when they grow up and you start seeing those traits. So those are two extremes, but usually in between, there's something in between. Somebody comes with some kind of generational trauma that has a potential to become the narcissistic personality disorder. And then the parents are not performing well as parents, and suddenly the person develops this disorder. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really interesting to me how this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is like, let's find the spot in childhood where things went wrong and trying to understand. But I realize there's not ever going to be the same exact thing in
Mm-hmm.
each person's life. The other thing that I was curious about is, do you think that there's people that could be narcissistic, but maybe aren't quite as mean or cruel?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, there's a spectrum of narcissism. So um the hardest one is the one that it's on the spectrum of psychopath, that's violent. But it's not a being violent and really mean. It's not I think it's not the trait of a narcissist. It's just some other deep trauma that's combined with the narcissism. So then, probably if the person didn't have narcissistic personality disorder but had some deep, deep, deep trauma and was violent, that's the person is violent without the personality disorder. But yes, there are narcissists, there are victims like the one that I was with, constant victim, crying, so emotional, meaning emotional only when it comes to themselves,
Hmm.
Um, crying all the time. Oh, please help me, find me. But when you try, they hit you, metaphorically, hit
Hmm.
you, right? Reject you. Because the core personality is I have to be a victim. So they don't want help, because help would have to take them out from the victim role, and they don't want it. So they want all the attention all the time, and oh, poor me, or the whole world is against me, oh, and I'm sitting here and everybody hates me. So this is the covert narcissism. Um, so they usually are not violent. They're just kind of mild, but devastating on the emotional level in the relationship. The
Yeah.
other spectrum is the psychopath, that it's mean, that it's can be violent, and also will do harm to you, not necessarily physically, but sometimes I heard stories like from women who already split with a mean narcissist, and years after the split, the narcissist is still trying to do something, like not like mm, let's say if they have some things to still dissolve,
Hmm.
uh, whatever it is, marriage or custody or some banking things or whatever, they will do everything to drag this on and on and on and make chaos. And so So they still try to be in control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do it strictly, it's mean thing. They could easily, sign a paper and do something. No, they will drag, they will make it difficult, so you still can suffer.
Yeah. Well, in your particular story, it really struck me when you were in the situation in the winter
Hmm.
on your,
Yeah.
that to me felt quite cruel.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see that one thread that I can see is that inability to maybe think about others and
Hmm.
how your actions are affecting them, right? That seems
Hmm.
something that narcissists,
Yes. Yeah, it's all about them always. Always.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but I know other people in my life that I've been curious about that they definitely have some sort of a mental health issue. I've never been able to put my finger 100%
Hmm.
on what it is, but they have a hard time maintaining relationships, and life does seem to be about them, but they never seem to do anything to the
Hmm.
level of like cruelty and
Hmm.
so it kind of got
Yeah.
me curious.
Yes, yeah, because usually people just have some emotional difficulty, some trauma stuck in their system, in their body, and they act on the trauma. Um, but still, mm, they don't try to hurt the other person in the process, or if they do, they feel guilty or ashamed, and they try to do something about it. And for example, this person, my ex, he many times he did something that was difficult, and then he was apologizing and being so sorry and ashamed. And a few days later, a week later, or a month later, the same thing happened. So, if you really feel bad about doing something to other person and really kind of tears you apart inside, you just don't want to do it again. You
Mm,
just don't want to do, you just make sure that you will do something about it and you won't repeat it because it's too painful to see the other person suffering, or yeah, suffering. So these people just they apologize because they want things to go back to normal. So you all pacified and you're good because you forgave them, and then when the waters are clear, then again the same thing happens. So they are never really sorry
yeah.
for yeah, for what happened to the other person.
Well, and I can see how sometimes acting sorry and full of guilt and stuff is a bit of a victim
Mm,
if you do it, over
mm-hmm.
the top. So I'm like, it could still fit that pattern, potentially, right?
Yes. Yeah. It looked actually like a real remorse because, he was not a stupid person. So he was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry for this, I really see how it's all me. It's really not you. You didn't do anything wrong. It was all me because, I have all those unresolved issues." So he was like, "Wow, there's an awareness happening here." But only for the moment for me to get pacified, and then it was it.
That was it.
Hmm.
So would you describe your book as um, a tool for identification, a tool for avoidance, or a tool for healing? What do you think?
All of it. Yes. Yes. First of all, I want people to understand the difference between real disorder and just some behaviors that are uncomfortable and may seem selfish, but they are nothing like personality disorder. So that, and then um, also to talk more about the covert narcissism, because we know usually the overt narcissism, right? The one who is the grandiose narcissist. Oh, I am the best. I can do everything. I will walk over you. Nobody is like me, right? And they really display that, the kind of grandiosity, right? So we know that one, but the covert one is it's all about, oh, I am the victim, I am the poor one. And usually, being a good human being, your heart kind of goes out to those people, right? Because you want to help, you want to support them. And that's why it's hidden, because it's only a bait to get your attention, your support. That's why you become the supply. So people need to understand, kind of understand and know the type, that not everybody who needs help actually needs help. Because of course, if somebody needs help and you help them, okay. But if somebody uses the victim story to just rob you of your own self and your money and or whatever it is, that something is not right with it. So we have to educate ourselves about it, that if somebody just drains you, playing the victim story all the time, stop. We have to learn how to put borders, yeah, the boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and also it's my story, how I went through it. So I'm describing different stages of it and how I processed and what I did and what helped me actually to do, to finally find myself in it and say no and say goodbye. So I hope it will be revealing for many people, especially women. I wrote the book for women, mostly. Of course, men are welcome to read it too. But because I am a woman and this guy was a man, so that's how I did it. Um, so they can see themselves, because many women don't know that they are in a relationship like that. They think that it's something about them, that it's not perfect, they have to improve, or it's their fault that he's behaving this way, or he's drinking or whatever. Oh, it's my fault. I should do something. Many women still don't know. So I hope that if somebody reads this book, they will start thinking and identifying some of their own story in it.
Yeah. Be able to recognize
Yes.
what's potentially going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
loved the other piece that I really enjoyed is how EFT was such a powerful tool for you
Hmm.
all along. And I just love EFT. And I think the coolest thing about it is that it's your hands, right? It's like
Hmm.
the power, that tool is in your hands.
Yeah.
It's available to everyone immediately without cost, right?
Hmm.
Like even nowadays, you can just jump on YouTube if you're not sure what to do and, you know,
Yes.
EFT or tapping for
Hmm.
whatever it is. But it really is such a powerful tool that can help you shift
Yes.
quickly.
Yes, and that's what I recommend, and I'm recommending it, encouraging people reading the book to actually do it if they find themselves in a situation like this, because I started working with women coming out of the relationship like that, and it's really, really devastating. It takes sometimes months and years to recover from the relationship like this. So I was lucky enough that I have this type of personality, that I just, if something is not right, I just have to do about it, something about it immediately. I just can't wait. No, something, it doesn't feel right. What it is, I want to do something about it. I want to find out. So I could say on the go, I was doing the therapy. So I was observing, experiencing, observing, and then trying to figure it out and tap
Mhm.
every day or every week or every time when something was not feeling good, I was tapping immediately. So, so that's why when I ended finally this relationship, when it ended, I was, you could say, okay. I was not devastated. I was not robbed of everything, because I was doing it while I was walking in this relationship. So, so if some women find out themselves, find themselves in a relationship like this, but they cannot do anything about it yet, for example, or it's too early, or there's some other commitments or children or whatever it is, they cannot leave. They can always, like you say, go on YouTube, find some exercise, learn about EFT, start releasing those emotions and um, creating more peace and distance to what's happening in the relationship. And then it helps a lot.
Yeah. It
Mm-hmm.
helps a lot. I mean, even I use it with my kids, and
Mm-hmm.
even when you're unable to put words to what's going on, I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed just the tapping in itself and sort of my little one following my pattern, she will feel quite better,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very fast. Like within just a couple of minutes, she's able
Yes.
to shift her emotions. And so
Yeah.
I really just loved that. You brought that to light again as a tool that you're
Mm-hmm.
using. I'd say you are quite unique. I don't think I've met anyone that's gone
Thank you. Thank you.
uh, that's gone through a difficult relationship like this and seems to be like okay and really
Mm-hmm.
positive and able to
Yeah.
speak about it in such a matter of fact way. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, it's because, it's really this that's like the story of every one of us that what I said at the beginning that if something challenging is happening on your path and it's difficult or traumatic or really, really, really bad, mm, there's always something behind this that you need to learn. Of course, we may think that it's um, not fair that the universe is sending you challenges like this, or that it's some kind of curse or bad luck or whatever, and we can stay in the victim mode. Yes, we can, but we have this ability inside to actually um, transform it, process it, learn from it, see what it is and what it wanted to tell us. And usually, when we go into this mode, we find the best pieces of ourselves that were missing or not integrated inside, or we didn't know those parts of us. And then when we finally find it, it's like the biggest joy in the world. And sadly, it is so happy moment, and you feel so more whole that the whole story becomes irrelevant, whatever happened.
mm,
And suddenly, even you can, I mean, that's what happened to me. I started to be grateful for this whole challenge, because without it, I probably wouldn't find some deep, deep hidden parts of me that I didn't know I had.
mm,
So then there's a big shift in perspective.
yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
I do think, that is just that simple truth that
Hmm.
our greatest lessons tend to come from our greatest pain.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just the fact of being human.
yes, yes. And the key, the whole key to all of it is our approach to what happens, right? Our relationship with what happens. Because if we decide the story to be our curse, we will be always unhappy and victim of that something that happened because we decided to interpret it this way. But if we have a relationship like, okay, yeah, it's supposed to show me something and I want to know what it is. Yeah, it sucks, it feels horrible, but I want to know what it is, what it shows me. Then that's when you win.
Yeah,
Win yourself, your pieces of yourself. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Your perspective is everything, which
Hmm.
really, I think, is the story that you tell others about it,
Hmm.
right? Is
Yeah.
is where how powerful it will be or won't be
Yes.
in your
And
life.
yes, and I remember this. I think I mentioned it in my first book. Yes, I mentioned in my first book because I heard this one from, I don't know if you know Nassim Haramein. He's like a contemporary physicist. I like to listen to him sometimes. And once he said something because they are um, they are growing crystals in their labs. So he said some interesting thing that the crystal, when it's perfect, it won't grow. It grows when you put a little dirt in it, something, something imperfect in it, some kind of dirt. And then it stimulates the crystal to grow.
Hmm.
So then when the the whole point here it is that when we get some challenge, and we process the challenge, and then we learn from it, then we should leave. We should kind of take the knowledge and understanding and the growth and discard the dirt that was there. Meaning, we should not hold on to the trauma and what happened. It's only a tool. It's not something we should collect and keep in our safe box or some kind of, storage unit inside storage unit. We should, after it did its job, we should discard it. We should just clean it, and that but should remain with the knowledge from it, with the growth, with the intelligence we got from it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole path here is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's even more beautiful and rewarding when you can get to a place where you take it and you share it with someone else
Yes.
to
Mm-hmm.
benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah.
found that to be quite rewarding.
Yes. Yes.
And I can see that's what you're doing.
Yes.
Well, I know your book's not out yet, but tell our listeners where they should go and when you think the expected date is.
Well, the expected day is probably this week, but only in Kindle version. If everything goes well, it should be this week. But definitely it will be out in November.
Okay.
Yes, we just have a beginning of November now, so it will be very soon. And it will be on Amazon. And if somebody would be interested in buying the book, they can go to my website, kasiadodd.com, and there will be links there leading to Amazon.
Awesome. Yes. And we'll have that link in the show notes as well. And if you even have the slightest suspicion that maybe you are dealing with a narcissist, I highly recommend Kasia's book. I think you'll enjoy it. And I was sharing with Kasia before we started recording, I really have found it quite an enjoyable and easy read, and I think you will too. So hope you
Thank
go
you.
out. Well, Kasia, thanks again for coming back to the show. It's such a pleasure talking with you again, and really just wishing you the best in all that you're doing. And thank you for shining your light in the world so beautifully.
Thank you so much for having me and asking me all those questions. I really enjoy sharing this, and I hope it will help many, many people.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're feeling blessed by the content here, the number one way you can show me is by leaving me a written review of the show. I'd be forever grateful. Knowing that you're out there listening helps me know that I'm truly living out God's purpose in my life. The other thing you can do is take a screenshot of this episode, share it with a friend, or better yet, tag me on your Instagram stories. Remember, you are seen, known, and loved. May God richly bless you today. All my love, Erin Jean.